Showdown strategy show. Got a banger today between the Dallas Cowboys, led by Cooper Rush, and the Danny Jones-led Giants. 39-point total for Monday Night Football. Doesn't matter, though. We all got the same players to talk about, to choose from. We're going to break it all down. I'm Dave Loughran at Lafayette_D on Twitter, LOUGHY_D. Joined first by Matt Gajewski, as always, at Matt_Gajewski. What's going on, bro?
Not much, man. It was a weird day of football yesterday. I know you were at a game, so you might not have caught a lot, but man, your Eagles sure look fantastic.
In the first half, they do.
Yeah. Hurts, man, he's playing out of his mind. He's had some awesome games. He had some stat. It was maybe the first quarterback in NFL history to have 900 passing yards and over 150 rushing yards through 3 games. Just incredible. Crazy. I think the only hole you could maybe poke is level of competition, but that's a hard one to poke. Like, he's doing what he's supposed to do on the football field. So love Hurts, but the Dolphins-Bills game kind of let people down. And I think the whole story of this week was the injuries. In DFS, if you could field lineups full of players that actually finished the game, you were probably in a pretty good spot. The injuries, it was a bloodbath out there.
Who were the biggest injuries, do you think, to affect lineups yesterday?
To affect lineups, David Montgomery, T. Higgins, probably top 2 or close to it. They were like cash considerations for people.
Had to be. And also joining us, Mike already put us on a 3-man, so I'm going to have to go over here. At our Alex Brown, former DM for the Chicago Bears, getting the hard-fought win yesterday against a good Texans team. But no, for real. At Alex Brown 96, we're always happy to have him with us. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. It was a great win. Like, don't forget that was a Lovey. That's a Lovey team coming in there, and Lovey being a former coach of the Bears. I mean, it was a win that
you're 2-1.
We really wanted. Hey, we are top in the division right now, and nobody saw this coming. So we're gonna appreciate this and love this as long as we can stay there.
No doubt. Yeah, I was at FedEx. We took a trip down there yesterday. Place is a dump, gotta tell you. But it was fun. It was a lot of Eagles. It was probably 70-30 Eagles fans. Do you guys think that Wentz was destroyed because of that pressure, or because of the pressure on him and just the fact that he's been known to, collapse under those type of mental stress games? Or was the line just destroyed, Matt? Like, was that just a game where he got sacked 9 times?
Yeah, well, first of all, just to be quite frank, I don't think he's very good.
He's not.
And I don't think they've really faced a strong level of competition to that point. That was certainly his toughest test. And it is a mismatch. Philly has an excellent defensive line that's a staple of their unit for years now. And Wentz is a quarterback who's not the most mobile, and he's had trouble with pressure in the past. 9 sacks is a ton. I think that's probably an outlier outcome. But still, like, I don't think that was a surprise to anyone to see him struggle and see him fold under that pressure.
I had something crazy happen last night. So I get home. I'm tired today. Not hungover. We started drinking early, but we stopped, and we were responsible. I get home. I take a shower, go to sleep, probably 10 o'clock. 3 o'clock, the power goes out, AB. Power goes out completely for 2 hours. But around 4 o'clock, this noise starts. It sounded like someone was drilling a hole through my wall in the bathroom. I start to freak out. Like, is this a calculated attack? Have they turned our power out? Someone's getting through my house. I go in there, and my electric toothbrush is going off on the stand. Now, have you heard an electric toothbrush rattling around on a countertop before? That shit is loud.
First off, I'm still on manual toothbrush. All right? I'm still on the manual toothbrush.
If you go electric, you'll never go back. It is
really
easy. Yeah, and my wife's a dental hygienist, so she makes sure that I'm up on this stuff.
Okay. Yeah. So you gotta send me the electric toothbrush I should go with.
We can do that for sure.
All right.
Yeah, I fly out of bed. I got my daughter in the room over, just.
Oh yeah, I would have panicked. Yeah,
I thought someone was coming into my house. I was about to arm up, boys. But I'm good. Now my heart's racing, the adrenaline's going. I'm not back to sleep till like 5 o'clock. But
I will say this. I just got that look from my wife here. She's like, if the lights go out at 3 a.m., I don't know it. It's over. I'm still out. I'm still asleep. Yeah, it's over. Yeah.
Okay. You could hear it shut down though in the house. They zoom, And then we can't sleep in silence. I got a fan overhead. I got a floor fan going. So everything just goes quiet.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah. And then I'm just like, I don't like. Matt, you sleep in silence or do you need noise?
I usually keep my window open except for the dead of winter, but I live in a little busier part of the city, so there's usually noise regardless. My power went out yesterday too, Lofty.
Really?
Yeah, there was a storm in Milwaukee.
You guys got a decent amount of storms.
Yeah, it was a bad one.
How long was it out for?
6 hours.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, luckily I was at my buddy's house watching the games. That's in a part of the city that's a little better wired up. So I get the text notification at like 4. It's like your power is not going to be on. Estimated time is 11 o'clock at night. It's like, oh, great. Guess I'm staying here through the end of this Sunday night game.
Yeah. I would have been a good game to miss, honestly.
Yeah, that was rough.
Performance. Yeah.
That's the first game this season, primetime game that I haven't stayed awake for. And when I checked the score 11-10, I was like, thank God I went to sleep. Yeah. But yeah, AB, we gotta get you an electric toothbrush.
Yeah, I got to. I have to do it.
It'll be like dribbling all over you. You won't know what you're doing. It'll be all over your shirt.
Okay, well, that's terrible.
No, you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out.
It doesn't sound like I want to do that.
No, I'm telling you, just very clean feeling. It's good stuff.
Right.
Anyway, we got some super chats. David Hanna, $20. Thanks, man. Let's go Stokastic. Awesome tools. Then another one, Hanna. If you go electric, you never go back. /lobby. Yeah. Listen, I wouldn't lead anybody astray on something like this. But hey, hit that thumbs up if you haven't done so yet. Subscribe to the channel, and let's dive into this one. AB, I'll go to you first. Out of the gate, do you see this being a sneaky game where you see a lot of points, or is it just because 39-point total? Back up for the Dallas. I saw a crazy stat too. It's like, so backup quarterbacks in their second start are over the past like 5 years or something, 4 years, are 17-36. So I guess it suggests that teams are getting a lot more tape and information on these guys after their first start where they've been mildly successful.
Oh man, that stuff I don't put a whole lot into. I mean, I know it's the numbers and but this quarterback has nothing to do with those previous, I guess, 37 or whatever. So I don't put a lot into that. What I think is, yeah, it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think you got two defenses, one that really gets after the quarterback in the Dallas Cowboys. Like, you can't get in second and long, third and long, or you're going to be in trouble with Michael Parsons and that whole crew coming at you. On the other side, like, they play just sound defense. They don't really rush the quarterback that well. I think they have 3 or 4 sacks on the season, but they play sound defense. I don't see a high-scoring game. I don't really like Daniel Jones. Rush is just a placeholder until the big dog gets back. So a lot of running, defense, and the two teams coming in thinking, as long as we don't make that big mistake, we got a chance to win. That's how I see this game going. Kickers.
Well, you would go in the kickers no matter what. So.
Earlier in the show than normal. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. AB wants to start the show talking about kickers.
That's right.
Matt, one of the really interesting kind of facets of this game is the Dallas Cowboys, despite injuries, they do have one of the best pressure rates in the league. And then on the other side, you've got a guy in Wink Martindale who wants to. They have to have one of the higher blitz rates in the league, right? Through the first 2 games. I mean, they've been bringing a lot of blitzes through the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, and I think there's a couple reasons for that. First of all, like, they've been battling some injuries. And to AB's point about the Giants and their pass rush, they could be getting back Azeez Ojulari and Kayvon Thibodeau tonight.
I think they're expected to, actually.
Yeah. Ojulari's second-round pick out of Georgia previously. He's a pass rush specialist, so he's kind of built more like a Leonard Floyd type. He's more slight in build. He might not be an every-down player for them, but he's certainly going to be a piece they use on sub packages. And Thibodeau, I mean, at one point considered the number 1 overall pick in that draft, and it was character concerns that dropped him. So maybe that helps their defensive pass rush, but I agree with AB. I like their defense already overall, and now you're getting back an influx of talent on the edges. Those are huge additions to the defense. I know they're not going to have Leonard Williams, it looks like, and he's big on the interior, but your edge group just got a big boost.
Yeah, massive boost. So you can see a lot of defense. I think one way this game could go over is if you have multiple defensive touchdowns, but still, it definitely feels like a defensive battle, AB. So let's kick it off with Dallas. You've got the Cowboys here. No Dak Prescott, so it means that Cooper Rush is going to be, thrust into another start. CeeDee Lamb coming off an 11-target game. He hasn't done a whole lot lately, but clearly Cooper Rush is looking to get him the football. And then Michael Gallup expected to be back here. We still don't know about Dalton Schultz. There's a lot in flux here, so I'm not necessarily sure how we approach this right now, knowing that Gallup probably is going to be limited in the event that he plays, and that Schultz, your clear top tight end and one of their leading target getters, seems questionable or maybe even leaning doubtful.
Yeah, I mean, I the way I see the game playing is you want to get the ball out of the quarterback's hands. You don't want him holding the ball that long. So you look at Cooper Rush, I think he threw the ball 30-plus times his first start. And so they're not holding back on him. They're gonna put him out there and they're gonna run their plays, but they're not gonna have him go 5-7 step drop where he's throwing the ball way down the field. I think they'll hold off on that, because if they can't protect him, and like I said earlier, it is a game where one mistake can really turn the whole game. So you don't want that. You want to get in a rhythm, short passes, slants, running backs coming out of the backfield. I think that's where they're going to find the most success. So I like the running backs. I like the running backs in this game. I'm not too keen on Cooper Rush or even Daniel Jones for that matter, but I think he's a little more in play. But I do like the running backs, not only running, but coming out of the backfield.
Yeah, when it comes to pricing, Matt, I think one issue is CeeDee Lamb. It's not that he's egregiously expensive, but because he isn't. And if this was a CeeDee Lamb price point under Dak Prescott, we'd be clamoring to get to him.
Mm-hmm.
But now that you look at him and you go, all right, he's the second highest priced player on the slate. I do, by the way, like over 55.5 receiving yards for him. I think that Rush is going to look to get the ball out early, and CeeDee Lamb is going to be one of those guys, especially if Schultz is not active, that sees a lot of those opportunities. But how do you come to terms with the price point on a guy like CeeDee Lamb today?
You can guarantee he's going to see volume.
He has
and volume
to, right?
is the most important thing in all of football, fantasy football, that is. And we do like the Giants defense overall. I think it's a little stronger up front with some of those guys coming back. So hopefully you can get CeeDee in the slot a little bit, manufacture touches for him, try to let him create on his own. And you're not really that excited about the Giants receivers on the other side. So you're kind of in this conundrum. Okay, who am I paying up for? So you have Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones at the top, but if you're not in love with either of those guys, it's not like we have a whole ton of talent to target today. So CeeDee Lamb, I think out of just necessity by default, you can play him and still feel pretty good about him. I think he has the best volume out of any player not named Saquon Barkley on the slate.
I agree. I like over 55.5 receiving yards and over 4.5 receptions. You just have to think he's going to get double-digit targets in a spot like this, whether he's productive with them or not.
And one last thing about the pricing. Yes, he's expensive, but you mentioned the injuries, and we'll dive into the nuances with them. But CeeDee's not hard to fit if you punt on some uncertain injury players that we'll talk about. So right now today, there's a lot of uncertainty, but I think this is a situation where you need to come back for live before locks night, see the inactives, because optimals might just flat out change and CeeDee could be in there.
Yeah. And no expensive quarterbacks either.
Right.
So I think we talked about that on Thursday. There was no expensive quarterbacks with Mitch Trubisky and Brissett.
That was fun. It was
these
that
guys
game
might
went
be
way
cheaper.
over. There was so much scoring in that game that nobody expected.
I know. Really shocking. And I'll tell you what, AB, our buddy Eitan, who we do shows with, and he does a lot on the betting side, he had the live under on 44.5. And I'm not sure if you saw that final play of the game where the Browns fell into the end zone with a strip sack.
I hit one time. Once I hit, it was Ohio State that did that in college a few years ago. And it finished off a parlay for me. And it was one of those plays where they're just tossing the ball back. And Like some people lose on that, but some people hit. I'm sure there was some people that were happy as hell when all that nonsense happened. Yeah.
As Ben said, as our buddy Ben Rasa says, it always feels like they go against you, but they don't always. You usually remember the ones that go against you. Yes. Well, I guess, all right. So if you're heavier on the running backs, then AB, you have, and I agree with everything Matt said. CD's kind of expensive, but he's not expensive in relation to how hard it's going to be to make a lineup because it's not. But Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard, you mentioned this. I don't know if it was before the show to me or right as we started the show with Montgomery, that you could see Montgomery and Khalil Herbert kind of developing into a situation like this Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard backfield. Who do you like more here at their price points, being that they're almost identical in salary now?
They are. Man, when I go into a game and you look at this Dallas team, it is Zeke seems like it just feels like he's the guy that needs 20, 25 carries to make it happen. And Pollard truly only needs about 12. Like, and he can bust off 100 yards and a touchdown because he has that 88 out the gate speed, right? Like if he breaks, he's gone. He is that fast. So Zeke isn't that type of player. So he needs more carries to get you there. I love Pollard. I absolutely love Pollard tonight. I like him more than Zeke. I hope Zeke is the one that's heavily owned because then I'll be going to Pollard a lot tonight.
Let's see where our tools have them, Matt, as far as ownership. If you have it pulled up, I'm going to pull the top plays tool up right now.
Yeah, I've got the top plays tool up.
So
it looks like
go
maybe
ahead.
It needs to update.
Oh, okay. So actually, let me shoot some.
I just updated. I had to refresh, but it needs an update.
All right, let me shoot some over to them and see if we can get an update on it. Where do you stand on these guys, knowing that I think what AB said makes a lot of sense too. If it's Zeke, first of all, you're relying on goal line touches for sure. I think you have to. That's the one reason that he was even salvaging last season was because he had the large majority of goal line touches. But as far as just overall efficiency in 2021, Pollard was the much better player than Zeke Elliott and far more efficient in terms of what he's going to pick up each time he touches the ball.
Yeah, his pass game role is a little better. We heard all this. It's basically nonsense because they haven't really done it. All this nonsense about Tony Pollard lining up in the slot, playing more receiver. And he's done it a little bit. Like he's had 11 snaps in the slot through the first 2 games. So they're kind of doing it, but still not really. And considering they're playing like Dennis Houston now, who's been cut, but they're playing players that are like USFL caliber receivers starting, playing full snaps. Like it didn't make a lot of sense to me that Tony Pollard was still splitting halfback snaps with Zeke. Why wouldn't you try to get him on the field as slot receiver? He doesn't play the position, yes, but he's still better than Dennis Houston. So that was a coaching error in my opinion, but now he's gone. You're getting back Gallup. So the worry to me is, all right, now they just go back to this 50-50 rotation at running back. But if I were picking between the two, it's Pollard. He has the better pass catching role. And to AB's point, he's far more explosive.
Quick side point here, AB, is since we have you on, sometimes, you're an appropriate guy to ask some of these questions. So Adam Schefter just tweeted that more on the NFL ending the Pro Bowl and turning the skills competitions for a flag football game. I've been saying forever, get rid of the Pro Bowl, bring back the quarterback longest throw competition and a bunch of other stuff. Where are you at on this? Because I think we can both agree the Pro Bowl sucks.
The playing of the Pro Bowl sucks, but man, I really, really want. I see. This is a very sore subject for me.
Why?
Because I was like right there. I was right there.
To make
Pro Bowl alternate twice. So I needed Peppers. Last game of the season, I think it was in 06 or 07. He dislocated his shoulder. I don't want him to be hurt, but hey, I mean, if you're not gonna go to the Pro Bowl, it's cool. Don't worry about it. Just go home. He ends up going anyway, so I don't go. And then I'm first alternate in 06 or 05 and don't go. Getting there as a player means everything. Like you want that. Totally. You want it because it is very hard. Not that I had any aspirations of going to the Hall of Fame, but you don't see guys that don't make the Pro Bowl. You don't make 8, 9, 10 years in the Pro Bowl. You're not going to the Hall of Fame, So I just thought for me, it solidifies that you're one of the best at your position during that time of playing. So I like it.
100%. I'm not. No. I think
the game sucks.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
the game
sucks.
I think they should still have, players getting in because to identify who the best players in the league. And I would imagine if I was in the league, I would definitely want to get honored, with being in the Pro Bowl. But the game itself is, I'd say it's pretty much unwatchable.
Yeah, because we don't have, if everybody felt like Sean Taylor when he went over there, Sean was going,
well,
man.
He was nuts.
Listen, he was 100 miles an hour. Or you got guys that really want the MVP or something, and they're out there and they're playing. A lot of guys over there, they go over and it's a fun time the whole week. So they're not truly preparing for a game. And then you go out and that's what you get as far as product. So I can understand it. And I would like to say, I remember growing up watching the competition stuff. So, but I don't want to see a competition where a quarterback like Lamar Jackson, he goes in a throwing competition and he gets beat out by the receiver from Cleveland or something. Like, I didn't like that. Like, I don't know, if it's a competition of who can throw the furthest, who can run the fastest, let's get all the guys doing it, like the faster guys in there doing it. So, and then it'll be interesting. But if not, it's just still gonna suck.
What about you? What about you, Matt?
Yeah, I like the skills competition. I think they involve everybody, like do a case race for the linemen, something that gets everybody involved.
I can see it now. Somebody's gonna pull a hamstring. Somebody's gonna pull a hamstring and they're gonna be out for the spring. They're gonna be done.
A case race, everyone would watch that.
It would have better ratings than the Pro Bowl.
Yes. Oh my God.
Doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
The NBA made plus the football is just tough. It's a contact sport. It's super physical. It's never going to be the same. The NBA did the great thing with the Elam ending where, the 24 points in the fourth quarter and they take it seriously now.
Yeah.
So they made that great. Otherwise that game sucked as well. And I just have zero interest in watching baseball, even though it's probably the purest all-star game. But I just wanted to get your opinion on that because things are changing in the Pro Bowl. And I'm sorry you never got there. I didn't know you were an alternate twice.
Yeah, 2 times, man. Gosh,
I
was on the cusp of being somebody.
Did you want to get there just because so you could say, I was a Pro Bowler? Obviously, that's a big part, but also the week long of hanging out with every like that had to be a factor.
Well,
too,
I've never been to Hawaii, and I told my wife she wants to go, and I was like, not going. I'll make the NFL pay for it. Didn't happen. Now I got to pay for it myself. So I'm gonna have to take her myself.
Oh man. Okay. All right. Good stuff. This is why it's good to have you on here.
You never lose that. You're always a former Pro Bowler, right?
Sure.
Once you make it, you're always that, right?
That's how you get announced by people. Yeah.
Correct. Like that would be a part of the show right now.
Oh my God.
Pro Bowler.
I'd announce you as Pro Bowl defensive end every single show.
Now I can't get it. Like former Pro Bowl alternate doesn't even sound right.
No. Right. Yeah. Former Bears defensive end. Had Peppers not entered the Pro Bowl, he would have been in the. Yeah, that doesn't sound as good.
It doesn't flow.
You're right. But now we know the backstory. Good stuff. Matt, where are you going with these other pass catchers for Dallas? Obviously, I know where you're at on Lamb. We talked about the running backs a decent amount. Do you have any strong lean towards running backs there? And how many lineups or how comfortable are you actually, so for me to back up here, playing Elliott and Pollard in the same lineup?
I ran some optimals this morning. You get a little bit of it, but not much. And it's partially just because you're not getting a ton of Dallas to begin with. There's more value if the slate started today on New York. But again, we're waiting on some injury situation. Dalton Schultz he's in our projections right now. Obviously, if he's out, we're going to take him out and that would open a ton of value. So I think we just got to wait on this. If he ends up getting ruled out, I think you're going to get more Dallas. And I don't think there's any issue playing them together. It's a single game slate. I don't think it's going to be owned enough. And they're used in different ways. Elliott could score touchdowns and Pollard still could get receptions that both pay off their salary. It's not going to be optimal. Like it's not going to be in the optimal lineup, but I think it's viable.
What do you want to do with guys like Noah Brown and Gallup, who Mike McCarthy's like, yeah, there's no way he's going to be playing around 70 snaps in his first game back. And then you look and they're averaging like 60 plays per game. So
that's a classic Mike McCarthy thing.
Nothing he said makes any sense in that respect, but you would think it's possible Gallup is limited after being out for a really extended period of time. And we don't know what's going on with Schultz. So can you break down the rest of these wide receivers and pass catchers?
I think from a snap perspective, you're still probably looking at Noah Brown, second on the team in snaps. Now, targets is a different story because when Gallup's out there, he's probably going to be a focal point. So it might be one of those situations where snaps and routes aren't great, but his targets per route are excellent because, I mean, why else would you use him, especially for a guy in a snap count? When he's out there, he's going to have a purpose. But Gallup, with that said, there's still probably going to be a fourth receiver that checks on the field a little bit. Now, they cut Dennis Houston. He was previously playing this role for some reason. Simi Fehoko, he has an 8% snap share this year, 3 targets. He's playing behind Dennis Houston previously, but he's really the only other receiver that's seen any sort of looks in this offense. For those of you playing the Millie Maker tonight, Simi Fehoko might want to be in your player pool in case Gallup's at like a 50% snap share. Now, that could go anywhere from like 50 to like 75. We don't know, but that's going to directly affect Fehoko.
Anybody else you like here? We'll get to kickers in a second, AB. Anybody else you like here, AB, when it comes to the pass catchers, if you're throwing someone in there at a discount?
I do like Brown. Fehoko, I mean, he is definitely a dart throw. But if I forget what Gallup's coming off of.
The ACL.
What is the ACL injury? He's not gonna, I just don't see how he plays the whole time, right? I think you look at Noah Brown and you look at what he did this past game. Even though he didn't have as many targets, he did lead the team in yards, right? So he had 90 plus yards receiving. So when they push the ball down the field, it is going to him, right? So if he gets, he's in that, for me, he is in that Pollard type situation where he could be the guy that only gets 3 targets or 5 targets, but he catches 4 of those balls and he still comes up with 60, 75 yards. So he had a touchdown last game. So, I mean, they're not afraid to, they trust him enough when they're getting in the red zone and they want to throw the ball in the end zone. So I like him. I like Brown. And it is very predicated on Gallup, but I think Brown is going to get enough to kind of pay off his salary. So I like Brown probably the most, just outside of course, CeeDee Lamb.
Is this a spot where you're going to be targeting kickers pretty heavily, just given the low scoring environment?
I think it is that type of game. I said, we talked about it earlier. I think these defenses are pretty good. I think the Giants have a solid defense. When you get to the red zone, the field condenses. So it's not a lot of grass or a lot of ground to cover at that point. They're going to try to pound the ball. I think the Giants are good at that, or stopping the run to some degree. And I think you will get those field goals. I think if you get 2 40-plus yard field goals, I mean, I think kickers in this type of game environment, I think kickers become very viable. So I will be playing, of course, I'll be playing kickers, you know?
Yeah, that just comes with the territory.
I'm going to take it down one day. I'm going to take this whole thing down one day, and my damn kickers are going to do it for me.
I hope you do, and one of them better be at captain.
Absolutely.
It has to be like a 20 fantasy point performance from a kicker.
Yes.
But Matt, who knows? Maybe this is the slate where it's, you know, straight kickers and defenses, because I agree with both of you. These defenses, hey, let's be honest, these teams right now, given their offenses, are pretty much rooted in defense. They don't have, you could say what you want about the Giants being 2-0, but let's not ignore the fact that, you know, Tennessee defensively and just overall as a team has not looked good. And then Carolina can't score points, and defensively they're another average team. So the path to 2-0 for Dallas has been for New York has been pretty easy. And for Dallas, credit them last week against that Bengals team. But the first 2 weeks, the Bengals were in disarray, could not protect Joe Burrow. They got an easy spot against the Jets. But maybe this is a defense and kicker type game where we get good production from both sides.
Yeah, the total suggests that too, 39 points. We talked about the players coming back on the Giants. That could help the pass rush there.
Yep.
Facing Cooper Rush, I think it's more favorable than Dak. We'll just say that. And Dallas has injuries in their offensive line. They already lost their left tackle. They lost a guard already. It's a unit that it's not what we used to see with Dallas when they would lead the league in rushing, and the injuries don't help. But then on the Dallas side, Micah Parsons, he might be one of the best pass rushers in the NFL, as non-conventional as he is, playing that linebacker hybrid edge rush position, but he consistently gets to the quarterback. And that's huge for this defense, especially when you're facing Daniel Jones, who's turnover prone himself. So no, I don't think that would surprise anybody. I think this is a game where you could use defense and captain, and I think you can play both of them in the same lineup if you're playing for a low scoring affair.
And you have him dealing with an injury or an illness right now, Parsons, but he tweeted out the picture of Michael Jordan in the flu game the other day. So my guess is that he's going to be, it seems that if you're tweeting that, you better play, right? Well, I'm saying you can't tweet that, AB. Right. You can't tweet that and then say, you know what, not feeling up to it on Monday night.
When I see that, I almost think like he's expecting to have a big game, because that's what Jordan did in the flu game. He had a huge game, right? Yeah. Like, so Parsons, you tweet something like that, not only are you going to play, he's going to play. This is big time. This is all of your peers are watching. Nobody's playing. Nobody's practicing. Everybody's watching this game. So you want to go out and play, but I think he's going to play well. I think he has another couple of sack performance. And of that, I can see him getting that ball out, man. Like, Daniel Jones holds the ball way too long. He does. And if they can confuse him even a little bit and Michael Parsons gets back there, he's going to get that ball. And I would not be surprised if he's dancing in the end zone tonight.
How wild is it that back when you played, social media for players was, I mean, just non-existent. And now it's everything.
Gosh, I hated it. I absolutely hated when Ocho Cinco would score and dance in end zone. Now it's promoted. Now, everyone needs to dance. Oh yeah. And he did some river, that river walk or whatever. Oh man, I hated it. But our coach is like, well, stop him. Like, if you don't want him to dance, don't let him in the end zone. And that was kind of our thing. Like, if you don't want him to show out on you, don't do it. Social media would have been probably good, but it could have easily been really bad. So
I feel like you would have probably contained yourself well, though. I don't know. You were younger then. Who knows? Yeah,
I mean, I think I would have been. I think I would have been fine. Not in college. No. I didn't need social media in college. No, no chance.
All right, let's hit Stokastic Hall of Fame here for all of you guys. By the way, hit that thumbs up too. We got almost 450 people watch, only 61 likes. Atone for your sins, friends. Appease the YouTube overlords. Make this a little easier for us. Help us keep the lights on, unlike my house last night. But Stokastic Hall of Fame, for those of you guys that are wondering, we want to show some love to all of you guys that are repping the avatar and that have big days or big nights, whatever the sport. And if you finish top 3 in a field of 5,000 or more, you get a free month of Stokastic Plus Platinum. It's $100+ value. And you get up here, inducted into the Hall of Fame. Just tweet your wins at Stokastic HOF after you go to stokastic.com/avatar. Download it. Use it on DraftKings, FanDuel, Yahoo, wherever it is that you play. And it can be in a quarter arcade. It doesn't matter. Nickel, milli, finish top 3 in a field of 5,000 or more. You get the free month. You get up here and all of that stuff as well. So let's kick this one off. We've had some really good ones lately. See what we got on tap today. Started off with Mark, took down the early slate No House Advantage contest today. Oh shit, they're doing okay. 15K up top over at No House Advantage now. Would never have known that the site if it wasn't for y'all. Thank you for everything you do. Your content. I can't say the word y'all. It makes me uncomfortable. So I'm just saying you guys. Your content. What's up?
What's wrong with y'all?
Nothing. It doesn't. I'm not comfortable saying it.
Okay.
It doesn't sound right if you're from the South, man. You can't. I'm from the North. I'm from the Northeast. We don't say that around here. It's not. I got nothing against it. I'm just saying I can't say it and sound. If I say it, I'll think I sound weird. That's all.
Okay. All right.
For everything you all do, your content and site have helped me make life-changing money for my family. That's amazing, man. Cheers, he says. 15K. Amazing, man. Congrats. Here's a big one. Eddie Lai. Eddie Lai works on a ton of our tools. He was one of the original founders of Stokastic. Huge wins there. Congrats to Eddie. Dr. Lucky, thanks to Stokastic for helping me take down this showdown slate. Hands down to the best DFS advice, Stokastic. Check them out. Mike, we need that music playing in the background as well. That gets this going. I don't know where that go to. Have there been any? It is? Okay, maybe. Okay, we're not sharing audio. That's what it is. Gotcha. Okay. Oh, sweet. First Rainmakers Hall of Famer. Love it. I love that stuff too. $1,000. Congrats, man. In the core contest. A lot of people in there. Christopher Perello, all Stokastic Hall of Fame, all about the projections. Nice little MLB. You took down a nice MLB contest recently as well, AB. I saw that.
Yeah, you know, I mean, yeah. It's just one bullet, you know, just one bullet. Yeah.
Look at
I think that means something different right there. When you take it down with one bullet, that's a little different.
That's how it's done. Yeah. And then Nick went to bed last night, breaking even, and assumed nothing would change. Checked after work today. Noticed I took home first. Nothing crazy considering the tie, but I'll take it any day. 3 years in a row, taking down at least one showdown. Say, hey, man, that's a solid win. Congrats to all you guys. And yeah, stokastic.com/avatar. If you want to get in on this, tweet your wins at Stokastic Hall of Fame and get up in the Hall of Fame. Get a free month as well. All right. Congrats, guys. Let's talk about the other side with the Giants. Matt, New York Giants. Daniel Jones has thrown deep twice in 2 games. They do not want to throw downfield, for obvious reasons. And amazingly, both of those deep attempts have been to Sterling Shepard. So interesting dynamic in this offense for a guy in Shepard. You're usually a slot guy, possession guy, but a high target share guy. He's getting the deep targets, albeit only a couple of them, but the only 2 that Jones has thrown this season.
I guess out of anybody, who else would you give the deep targets to? This receiver room is bad.
Yeah.
And
Galladay played 2 snaps last game.
Yeah, I don't see that increasing either. He's the reports on him, like the drumbeat has been very strong all offseason that Galladay was not going to be involved. So, I mean, out of the other players they're using, David Sills, he's like a possession style receiver. He came out of West Virginia. Richie James is a kick return specialist. He's very small, plays in and out of the slot. And that's kind of Sterling's role too. All that to say, none of them are your prototypical field stretchers. So if you were going to pick one to do it, I guess like Sterling's your most talented player. I guess he's the guy. So from that aspect, it makes sense. But I mean, this receiving core is much weaker than I thought it was going to be this year. And the only guy I have any confidence in is Sterling Shepard.
I'm 100% with you there. And even with Kadarius Toney doubtful and Wan'Dale Robinson out, I still don't know how much Dable is going to want to use Galladay. I mean, he went from playing, it's not like he wasn't involved in week 1, AB. You saw in week 1, and by involved, I just mean as far as, route participation and snaps. He played 77% of snaps. Then he played 3% in week 2. So not looking very good for a lot of these guys outside of Shepard, who I feel like probably gets a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, with everything that's going on, how can we not have Shepard? I mean, we probably do, but how do you not have Shepard in that CeeDee Lamb or right there with CeeDee Lamb? If we're talking about the amount of volume, the amount of production that could come his way tonight, like everything's going to go to him. And with them not throwing the ball deep, like he could really walk away with 9-10 receptions in this game. Like he could. And
I agree.
I mean, the ownership, I think, would absolutely play a part. But if everybody's going to go to CeeDee Lamb, which I'm not saying not to go to CeeDee Lamb, but if you're going to be a little different and get very similar production, yeah, it'll be Shepard.
I think too, Matt, with Sterling Shepard, he's not, usually your massive big play receiver. But when I look at it and I see, all right, he's got a deep target in back-to-back games, which is nice for a guy like Shepard. He has a 65-yard touchdown. He's not bad after the catch. Am I wrong to say it's kind of easy to forget that Sterling Shepard, when healthy, which is, not often, when he's healthy, he's actually productive, and he always seems to be Daniel Jones' number 1 guy when he's on the field.
Yeah, he's the guy that creates separation. So when he's open, you can see it. He's not a guy you have to throw open, which is solid for Daniel Jones, who hasn't shown that ability. I think the worry with Shepard was just the injury, and he's kind of squashed those through the first 2 games. playing most of the snaps, being their wide receiver one, and they just don't have talent outside of him. So I agree with AB. I think Shepard has really good volume, and we could see him rack up a lot of PPR production just through that volume. Like, he doesn't need to be explosive to come away with 8 catches if they're coming near and around the line of scrimmage, just moving the chains, creating that separation early. He can come away with a productive game, and he's not super expensive either. So it's not like he needs to put up that elite score, where at CD Lamb's price, you kind of need it a little bit more.
Yeah. And I don't think that Daniel Jones throws a lot. You know, his pass attempts prop is 28.5. So yeah, they've been trying to work with low passing volume, but Shepard has a 26.5% target share. And let's not forget either, AB, in week 1, it was possible that he wasn't even going to play because he was coming back from an extensive injury too. We might just see him get more and more involved as the weeks go on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we saw Barkley have a huge game that first game, and then the second game he kind of tapered away. And I think that's where people are going to come in and they're going to try to stop Barkley. That's what they want to do. You got to stop him. He is the heartbeat of this particular offense. But Shepard, he gets the benefit when that happens, because if you throw a little screen pass or a little spot pass to him, that's basically a run for a lot of OCs, offensive coordinators. That's basically a run. They just kind of get the ball out. If he can make a guy miss, he'll gain 8, 12 yards. So those things right there, they add up over the course of a game, especially when there's no other viable targets. Honestly, you can punt a guy and hopefully he gets 3 balls, but Shepard is the guy when we're talking about the New York Giants and the receiver. Yeah.
First time, long time. Where's Josh at? How about them Eagles now? Yeah, Josh had a real nasty tweet about me yesterday, saying he was filling the very small shoes of Laffy on the Deeper Dive show. I mean,
wow,
real nasty, right?
Wow, Josh, I don't know, man. Like he want to break Florida off of the United States.
Yeah, I heard.
He wants to cut out the Midwest and just remove it, just have East and West Coast. What is happening? He hates football. Like, everything about my life, I think Josh hates.
He hates.
Yeah.
Right. So when he tells you he doesn't hate
Josh,
you, how are you supposed to believe it?
Right.
Yeah. Wild character here. But yeah, just really coming for my jugular yesterday. That's all right. That's right. Yeah, he doesn't like anything. We're on a playback stream the one day, and he's like, "Yeah, just get rid of California and New York." And I go, "Yeah, it's fine, but probably most people watching are from California and New York right now." But no, yeah, it was a good game, and they got the Jags next week. Jags look good. Jags look real good.
That doesn't even sound right? Like,
I bet them to win the division last week. I'm with you. It doesn't sound right, but Doug Peterson has righted that ship. So
yeah,
always some good surprises. A lot of parity in the NFL. All right, Matt, I know you said the only one you trust is Shepard, but I have to ask you this question because it's a showdown slate between 2 inferior offenses, and we will get to Barkley, of course. We'll get to the other guy. What do we do with the non-Barkley or with the non-Sterling Shepard pass catchers?
It looks like they're comfortable trotting out Richie James and David Sills as their next men up. Richie James worked in a little bit of a timeshare with Kadarius. They kind of play overlapping roles. They're both small, gadgety type guys. Kadarius a little more talented than Richie James. I think that's fair to say. But Richie James fills that role. He's a kick returner. He's going to be out there a lot. Another guy that probably sees short and underneath routes. And David Sills, this was a surprise to me. I did not expect him to have as many snaps and routes as he has, especially over Galladay.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like he's locked into that role. So we have to consider him. These guys are going to be on the field. And I think you can play any of the 3. It actually looks fairly condensed here.
Tom Spalding, Josh hates Christmas, the American flag, which is both true. Oh, anti-American.
Does he like stuff other than the NBA?
What'd you say?
Does he like anything other than the NBA?
That's actually a really good question. I don't know. He likes soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, coffee. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Soccer, yeah, MMA. He does. Matt said, does he like stuff? Yeah, I don't know. It's actually a really good question. But besides the point, AB, if you're not going Shepard, is there anyone else? Is it this Sills fella who's playing a ton of 92% of snaps last week, led the team in snaps and I think routes as well, or at least he was up there with Shepard and routes.
Yeah, I mean, if he's going to be on the field, then yeah, I mean, there's an opportunity, there's a possibility he can get some passes his way, but I don't think anything will be geared towards him, right? I don't think they're going to run the offense through him. He's not going to be the first target. He's not going to be the second target. He'll be that guy on a scramble play. If Daniel Jones will be running for his life. But when he's doing that, then, I mean, maybe he can get some balls thrown his way. But for the most part, for me, I'm going Shepard if I want a pass catcher from the Giants. So, yeah, it'll be Shepard. You got Barkley, of course, but I like Shepard a lot.
Anything for the tight ends, fellas?
It's a value position today.
What's that?
It's a value position today.
Yeah, but where?
Well, I think more so on the Dallas side, but
sure.
If you're playing New York, Bellinger, somewhat interesting, wouldn't you say? The rookie,
yeah.
he could be coming into like an ascending role. So the negatives, it's been a timeshare for New York. The positives for Bellinger, if you were going to craft this argument, he's a rookie. Generally, these players take a little bit of time and they can ascend into their roles. It's only week 3, so seeing Bellinger play a timeshare as a rookie is not too surprising at this point, but I think you could make the argument he's the most talented and perhaps his opportunities rise. They're using like Tanner Hudson, who is essentially a practice squad player for Tampa Bay for the last couple of years. Preseason hero, but he's mainly a practice squad. And Chris Myrick, who's a blocker. So the path is there for Bellinger if he can just take it.
He did have a touchdown last game. He has one target on the season. Just 16-yard touchdown. So who knows?
They've only targeted the tight end position 5 times, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's not a very, it's that you knew going into the season, just looking at who their pass catching tight ends were, if anybody really, that it was probably going to be an underwhelming campaign. But, all right. Hey, by the way, Alex is rerunning the top plays tool. He said ownership didn't sync up for some reason, so we're rerunning it now. And if you guys want a free week of all of our Showdown tools, it's basically free. It just updated too. It's $1. That was unintentional. $1 for an entire week. If you do it today, you're getting Monday, you're getting Thursday night, you're getting Sunday night, you're getting Monday night again. You're getting 4 Showdown slates. So it's a quarter a slate, $1 for the entire week of Showdown tools. Fantasy Crunch are not included because we don't own them. We just host their tools over at Stokastic, but a phenomenal deal here. $1. The prime time is the promo. Prime time, or just, it's honestly easier if you just go to stokastic.com/promos and click it. So you don't have to type it in and you won't mess anything up. But you've got the ownership for the Showdown slates and single game slates, all of the sites. You've got the projections. You have the top plays tool, which Matt would attest to is an insanely valuable tool. It's giving you the top play probability of everybody, probability that they're 2 through 6. It's giving leverage scores, captain spot ownership, utility ownership. That tool is like an all-in-one tool that kind of encapsulates everything you need for Showdowns. And you're getting it 25 cents a game for the first week. So if you want to check it out, you've been wanting to, but you've been hesitant because you didn't want to pay for it. Well, here you have it. And I think our lineup generator now, which is sick, especially for those of you guys playing less lineups, is available for Showdown. So yeah, check it out. $1. Prime time's the promo. All right.
$1?
Yeah, $1 really? For the entire week of Showdown tools. Yeah.
It's easy. You got to do it. Yeah.
Do it.
Just reach in your seat cushions. I mean, that's $1. Come on. Let's go.
AB coming in hot with the reads. I love it. It's true though. It's a quarter a game.
Yes.
And the guys that we have on staff too that make these tools and that do content for them, they just crush Showdown slates. So obviously the tools work.
They work.
All right. AB, I got to go to you. Kickers and Giants defense here.
Yes. Giants defense. The reason I lean more to Dallas's defense is because they are more explosive in the sense that they get the big plays. They do get after the quarterback, and you're going to get points there. The possibility of getting that sack fumble, they scoop and score. The Giants, they're getting some of those guys back, the edge rushers, but I haven't seen it yet. They only have 3 sacks on the season, so you're not gonna get that right now. Neither one of these quarterbacks is gonna hold the ball. They're not gonna hold it. So it's going to take a special player, and Dallas has those special players that can make this stuff happen on the defensive side. Kickers, low-scoring game. I see maybe a couple touchdowns in this game, but I do see a lot of opportunities for field goals. Last night, I was sitting in a spot. I'm telling you, kickers come through, except for when they don't. McManus misses this long kick. I'm like, come on, I need that one. And he just pushed it right. But you get a couple 50-yard field goals, you're sitting pretty good and above the field on a lot of these players that people are kind of juggling if they're going to play or not. And you're taking a dart throw, take the dart throw on the kicker, because they are definitely in play in a low-scoring battle, defensive battle like we're going to see tonight.
What do you think, Matt?
I agree with him entirely. The total lines up in this game. I don't think there's any question with the talent on either side for the kickers. You're playing them when they make sense.
Mm-hmm. All right. Oh, and yes, thank you, Ross. Ross said, what about the Sunday morning game, Lobby? London game, Vikings Saints. There's another. It's not a quarter a game. It's less than that. Because, yes. And I just asked Alex, we will have all of the showdown tools for the London Sunday morning game as well. That's 5. You do it today for $1. It's 5 showdown games.
It's literally 2 dimes. It's 2 dimes. Come on. 2 dimes a game. Come on.
Yeah, 2 dimes a game. In other words, 20 cents a game. So yes. That's it. That's all. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, it's a good time to do it with these London games for sure. All right, let's build a lineup. Before we do though, shout out to our sponsor Prize Picks. People have been killing it over there. We've been seeing a lot of screenshots from Prize Picks as well. You're not getting the Hall of Fame for that because it's not, fields of 5,000 or more, but it's sick because it's daily prop-based contests. And it's also especially great for those of you guys that aren't in legal betting states because, you can scratch that itch. You can get the same feel, the same vibe, the same concept, actually even better with Prize Picks, where if you're doing a 5 prop lineup, because it's just prop-based contest, there's no juice on either side. They're just taking the over or the under. In a case like this, if you hit 4 of 5 on these lineups, in a traditional book, it would be called a parlay. If you hit 4 or 5 and you miss the 5th leg or player, you're still 2xing your entry. You still make money back if you hit 3 of 5. Traditional parlay, you hit 4 or 5, you're done. You're not getting it. It's 5 of 5 or nothing. It's every leg or nothing. So really, really solid kind of feature over at Prize Picks. And if you're like Matt and you love college football and NFL and also MMA, you could make a 5-player lineup with 2 MMA props, 2 NFL props, a college football prop, mix them all in as well, cross-sport entries. Super nice interface. Everything looks good, whether you're on the app, you get it from the App Store, Google Play Store, whether you go to prizepicks.com. And you get up to $100 first match deposit bonus when you sign up with the link. Mike can throw that in chat. It's in the description if you're watching this video after the fact. Be sure to check it out. Very cool. Up to 10 extra entries if you hit 5 of 5. There's no sharks, optimizers, mass entries, anything like that. You can do it on your phone. You can do it on your desktop. Doesn't matter. So be sure to get in on that. Prize Picks. Get up to $100 first match deposit bonus on top of that as well. And use all of our tools, man. Odd Shopper, free. Our player prop tool, free. Take advantage of that. Find every edge you're going to get. All of them free as well. Use that link. Sign up. prizepicks.com. All right. Let's build a lineup, boys. Or unless there's anything. Oh, we didn't talk about Barkley, but I think that's pretty obvious, right?
Yeah. We also didn't talk about Dallas tight ends because it looks like Schultz isn't going to play.
Okay.
I would expect Jake Ferguson to play the most and Peyton Hendershot to come in when they're using 2 tight end sets. They may bring up Sean McKeon from the practice squad. He's been injured, but we haven't got word on that yet. They're probably going to test Schultz out a little bit during the day. You'll know by live before lock if McKeon's on the roster or not. But either way, expecting Ferguson and Hendershot to play most. They're both the stone men, so they should be a focal point of your lineups if that news comes through.
Real quick, Mike, is that still active? It's still, you get a free month as well of Stokastic plus Platinum if you sign up with Prize Picks as well? Yeah? All right, because that's just, I mean, you talk about sweetening the pot. All right, free month of Stokastic Plus as well. Sweet. All right. AB, Barkley he's going to be the most popular player on this site for good reason, in your opinion?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's, oh gosh, Pollard, but not splitting anything. Like he gets everything when when it comes to running the ball.
Matt Breida is the backup.
Yeah, Breida is the backup. Breida's, I don't know. He's not going to get in the game unless Barkley's dead tired, right? He's not going to come in. So if Barkley has a game like he did the first week, yeah, you're going to need it. I don't see how you don't play him. If you fade him, you're just going to be you're playing with fire in that sense. If you fade Barkley, he is the heartbeat of the New York Giants offense. In a game like this, you don't want Daniel Jones back there just holding the football with this pass rush coming at him. The best way to help that is to run the football. Stay in short, second and short, third and manageable. Staying in those down and distances, that helps keep the pressure off of Daniel Jones. That is going to come with Saquon Barkley. So, and he can easily bust off a 50-yard in a heartbeat. He is a super explosive player. I think he's back. Not like he was, I guess, his rookie year, but he is close. Really, really good play tonight. And I don't think that's I'm not breaking any news here with that one.
Are there any, and yes, Blitz, The Pot by Tool, that song, it's one of the greatest songs ever created in the history of music. If you don't listen to Tool, you're missing out. Imagine neither of you guys are big fans, but that's okay. Yeah.
No.
If I were to ask you this way, Matt, are there any advantages to not playing Barkley? What would they be?
You're maybe getting leverage.
That's it, right?
He's a great play.
That's
That's all I can really say.
30% top play probability today, which still means there's a 70% chance that he isn't, but he has 53% chance of being 2 through 6 on DraftKings. So that's what, 83% that he's going to be in an optimal.
Yeah, he's just flat out a great play.
Yeah, he really is. You guys want to make a lineup before we get out of here? Best part of the show.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do large field tournament, and we'll start with. I'm nervous to go with AB with the kicker about to be inserted into the captain spot, but let's start with you, AB.
Really? Okay.
Start with you.
I've been talking him up all day. I know most are gonna go with Barkley, and I probably should go that way.
Going Pollard.
I'm going Pollard.
I love that actually.
I am going Pollard. I like Pollard in the captain spot.
I'm a fan of that. Let's see where his ownership in captain is. Only 5%. Barkley's 19%. We don't have positive leverage on Pollard in our top plays tool, but I could definitely Pollard. They might eventually. They're going to need someone to make plays, and it might be Pollard. So, all right, let's do it, Matt. We got Pollard at captain. Where are you going next?
I'm going to go with Daniel Jones.
All right. 7,000 per player remaining. We're going to have to find some value at some point because if you went Danny, I'm throwing Shepard in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm throwing Sterling Shepard. We got 6,900 remaining the next 3. So we can definitely go with another high priced player. AB, it's up to you.
I'm gonna let you guys get that one. I want the Cowboys defense.
Okay. So
Cowboys D.
So this could be a game where like Danny Jones and Shepard both show up, but there's a pick 6 or a blocked. I mean, it's very possible that things could go in favor of Dallas, and also low scoring game where Jones and Shepard get it done.
Jones is pretty good. He can get you. Hey, it's not out of the realm of possibilities. He can get you 50 yards rushing in this game with the amount of pressure he's going to get when throwing the ball. I could see him taking off and getting yards that way. That's almost unaccounted for when you're talking about Daniel Jones.
Absolutely. All right. 8,000 per player remaining, Matt.
All right. I'm going to tee you up. I'm going Barkley. You're going to see what it leaves you. AB is going to be really happy.
Yes.
Brett Maher. Ah, there it is. Yeah.
Come on.
There it is. That was perfect.
Yes.
What a way to end the show. All right. Pollard, Jones, Shepard, Cowboys, Barkley, Brett Maher. I actually don't mind that lineup at all. It's kind of unique.
And it fills out the salary, but you played such a contrarian captain that I don't think you're really worried about a lot of dupes outside of the Millie.
No. And you have Cowboys defense with a bunch of Giants. So you need that to work in your favor, obviously, right? Like you need a pick six or something or a scoop and score, which I think is entirely possible. I think it could work.
When we win the Millie on this, does it all go to Alex or do we split it?
Well, it depends. No, it depends
who plays it.
Puts the lineup in. If you go put that lineup in, it's all yours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm playing this lineup right here tonight.
I think I might play it in a couple things. I might play a different contest though. But anyway, follow Alex at Alex Brown 96. I think that's across the board, right? IG, Twitter, everywhere.
Yeah. 96A Brown is Instagram.
Okay, 96 Brown.
Yeah.
And Matt at Matt _Gajewski, me at Lafayette _D, LOUGHY _D, because it's impossible to spell apparently. And thanks to Mike for producing this one. Stick around, MLB Strategy Show coming up next. Peace.